Hey everybody, greetings from the dank basement. Good morning. I am Paul, your wicked Uncle Squinty. I apologize for the sound of the electric blower on my fireplace down here. Trying to keep the dank basement warm as here in southeast Minnesota we are heading towards another winter storm with lots of snow and very cold temperatures. So anyway, got a couple things to pull on your coattails about this morning, and the first is let's talk a little bit about this. This is from Toque. It is their limited edition fig and juniper snuff, and this is where Toque crosses the line between big snuff factory and small batch artisan. This snuff is absolutely brilliant. It is moist. It is between a medium and a fine grind. It compresses very easily in the tin like Play-Doh. It pills up very nicely between the thumb and forefinger and maintains Aprilla for at least a couple of seconds, so the moisture content is great. In the tin you smell the marvelous Toque natural tobacco base at its base, and you smell something that's a little reminiscent of a high-end hair care product, very herbal, a little piney, very nice, but in the nose it's a whole nother story. Now I've been warming my pinch here. I'm going to powder it out on a boxcar here. Yeah, you want to expose as much of the inner surface of your nose to this if you can, to really get the aromas and the nicotine out of this. So cheers. Five out of five all day long, all day long, all day long. That is absolutely brilliant. What you get from the fig combined with the juniper is the slight sweetness and earthiness, sort of funkiness of the fig, brings out the very best notes of the juniper. Instead of just being sort of a piney, sort of aftershave witch hazel sort of scent, you are really getting the roundness, the berry-like sweetness, a little bit of cedar wood in there. It is absolute genius. This is, I think, the best snuff that Toque has ever produced. It is beyond fabulous. I hope you can still get some. I only have the one tin, otherwise I'd be happy to send out samples. I got this from my friend Chris, better known as In a Pinch, here on YouTube. And now, that leads me to a really important part of this video. Oh, by the way, nicotine, 5 out of 10. Overall quality on the Squinty scale, where 1 is disgusting and 5 is delicious. This is a 6. It's fantastic. So get yourself some Toque Limited fig and juniper. If you can still get your hands on some, please do so. Now let's talk about my buddy Chris and the open source project Snuff. OSP Snuff is the name of Chris's burgeoning project here. He has already got one snuff, or two maybe, in development. He wants your feedback. He wants to open a dialogue with you. So if you would like to comment on his snuffs, maybe acquire a little bit of it from him to do a beta test, I don't know what he's got in mind, but I did tell him that I would happily promote his new endeavor here on my channel, and happily so. The address is ospsnuff at gmail.com. I will put the address down in the description box in case you have a longer attention span than mine. Once again, that's ospsnuff, singular, at gmail.com. I think it's going to be a wonderful project. From what Chris has described to me from his first effort, it's brilliant. He is using absolutely the highest quality tobacco. He's not using waste tobacco. See, what you need to understand is many snuff makers, and it's to their credit, why not use the stems? Why not use the veins in the tobacco plant? You know, the lamina you save for making pipe tobacco, the lamina you save for rolling good cigars, whatever. But the veins and the stems, they're perfectly acceptable for making snuff. No, not for Chris. He's using nothing but great leaf to make his snuffs. And he's coming at this from a bit of a scientific perspective. He's got quite a lot of scientific knowledge and knowledge of process engineering. And so he's going at this very scientifically, but still with an artist's nose and palate. I think they're going to be very good snuffs, just from what Chris has described to me. So you need to correspond with him. hopefully today. Now, if you're like my wife and a lot of us, you have today off because of the Monday holiday after New Year's Day. So if you can, drop him a note right now, ospsnuff@gmail.com. Open that dialogue. You see, I don't know what's going to happen with the European artisans. I hope they will still be able to do what they do, because they do it so well. You know, they really do. People like Nigel at Abraxas and Johnny at Sir Walter Scott's. These guys are artists, not just artisans. And I hope they can continue to do what they do. But we still need to be prepared like good Boy Scouts and maybe get something going in artisan snuffs here in the States. Now, I did kind of give a negative review to Jeremy, and that is Gadsden Snuff Mill. But it wasn't totally negative. I want to be clear on that. While I said the snuff was not ready for prime time, I really see the potential there. I see the potential for what Chris is coming up with. I've also corresponded with a couple of other guys who are ready to try their hand at snuff making. And I encourage you to try it. Learn about it. Invest in a little tobacco. And go for it. I mean, if you think you can do something, do it. But in the meantime, let's communicate with our friend Chris. Once again, ospsnuff@gmail.com. Write him a note today. I'm going to take another pinch of this fabulous... I don't know why I was fondling a lighter the whole time I was talking. Go figure. I'm going to take another fat pinch of this. Sorry if I'm a little scattered today. It's very weird coming off the New Year's weekend. I did not go out for New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is amateur night. That's when people who never drink during the rest of the year think they can go out drinking. Hijinks and antics ensue, so I just ducked it. I just stayed home. I had a glass of wine with my wife at midnight. Woohoo! Anyway, from the dank basement, here's a big cheers with the Toque Limited Fig and Juniper. Get some of this. It's good. And while you're at it, and if you're into artisan snuffs and interested in the whole process and art of making handcrafted snuffs, you need to get a hold of my friend Chris today, ospsnuff@gmail.com. From the dank basement!
Oh, wait. Mommy, I hurted myself.